This is Vin with American Mosh Pits. We are here with Gideon for our brand new episode of Conversations with Vin. How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Excellent. So we're going to go through a few questions. If you guys want to answer them as an individual, as a band, feel free. I'm sure some of these will hit home for individuals, but by all means, just do it however works, all right? Cool. We thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak with you. We're big fans. This is awesome. A big fangirl moment for our whole company, actually.
That's great.
All right, so the first thing we always ask at Conversations with Vin is, what did you see or hear that made you say, I want to be a professional musician?
Yeah, for me it was my dad was a musician, and so he would do like rehearsals in the house. He was a songwriter, so the band would practice at the house, and I don't know, I just grew up around it. And he played in the church band and stuff like that. So for me it was just like, oh, this is what we do. You know, this is what you do when you get older. You play music, like that's it.
Very cool.
Yeah, my dad was also a musician. And he played rock and roll and stuff before I was born, and so he tried to get me to be a guitar player really bad, but I found drums instead.
Either one's fine. But, they're both acceptable.
Yeah, he actually dropped me off at my first heavy show when I was 14.
Okay.
It was in the basement of this church, and I was hooked. I was just like, this
is the style I want right here. The energy's here. This is where it's at.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
When I was about 14 or 15 in high school, I just had a bunch of friends that listened to this music. I didn't even want to necessarily play in a band, but I had a few friends that started a band and hit me up and were just like, we'll teach you how to play. And once I started, I didn't want to do anything else.
Was it metal right from the beginning?
Metal right from the beginning.
Wow.
Grindcore, like old, heavy-ass shit. It was crazy.
You know, that's a common thing we hear as we interview musicians, is a lot of them didn't change genres. They were right there.
Yeah, I just started right with it.
Honestly, I have no idea how I'm here.
All right, I like
Nobody
it.
in my family plays anything or does anything. I was really interested in music when I was younger, and I was in choir and band throughout my life.
Okay.
And then I started playing keyboard in a band years ago, and then somehow figured out I could scream, and here I am.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I want to touch on Gideon hits the scene in 2008. In 2016, you joined Equal Vision Records. 2019, you released the record Out of Control. I feel like that was like a blow-up moment for your band, right? So what was the difference at Equal Vision that led to this Gideon explosion?
I don't know if it was so much.
I mean, we were definitely more free to say and do whatever we wanted on that label.
Artistically,
sure. And just I mean, because we were on a label that was like a faith-based label, and so technically, like, we had to think about what we were saying a lot more. And I think, that definitely, the freedom of the situation, I think, definitely played into it.
It really, like, I feel like whenever the boundaries were, or the lines were taken away of like how far we could go, I feel like we just pushed it as far as we could to find where we needed to be. It really was out of control. Like I feel like we completely just like did whatever we wanted to on that record, and it was we had a lot of fun making it.
That's amazing to hear, because it's so impactful. Like I said, I feel like that is your blow up. Gideon's on the next level.
It's weird though, because like right after we did that, we didn't even get to tour on that record because of the pandemic.
We did like 2 tours and then COVID hit.
And that's when More Power, More Pain, like we were feeling all of that.
Right.
And so it was natural to write just like a
follow up. Part 2
record.
Yeah, exactly. Next kind of follows that up, right? So in 2023, you made powerful performances in mainstream time slots at Incarceration, which we were there for, and Furnace Fest. 2024, you're co-headlining Michigan Metal Fest. How does this hit, as Gideon has become this popular and this big, that now mainstream spots on these festival stages?
I think we're all still trying to digest it.
Sure.
Because we've been so used to grinding for so many years. Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, we slept on kitchen floors, like random strangers' houses. Like, we would stay, we'd eat dollar menu food, like do whatever we had to do to make it to the next town. So I feel like at least for me, I feel like my mindset is still there a lot of times, like still like this frugal teenager hitting the road, like trying to just, you know, pinching pennies and all this kind of thing. So it's really cool to know that we're at the stage where we can support ourselves and like we're doing it. And there's been so many like made it moments through the years, like we made it, you know, but I think that it's important to always have those little moments along the way, like the first downs instead of the touchdown. You know?
Absolutely.
There's always a next
step.
Yes, exactly.
The learning curves per se. Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah. Also worth noting, I think Michigan Metal Fest, we're direct support. So not like co-headlining.
We decided to co-headline. We love you guys. We're so happy to see you so high up there.
It's cool. It'll be fun.
We're highly involved with Michigan Metal Fest.
Okay, sick.
And this year we have a big partnership with them, so we will see you guys out there.
Yeah,
and we're very excited. So, next thing I want to touch on. So this is very cool for us from the country ourselves, right? So, Gideon from Alabama, Knock Loose from Kentucky, Norma Jean from Georgia, Traders from the country Florida area. Why so much hardcore inspiration from that southern country USA? Who wants to speak on that?
I think it goes even deeper than that.
Please.
I think that a lot of the best music comes from the South, but I think who should really get the credit for that is the blues. There's always like, there's so much pain and just like, I feel like that's where everybody gets their influence from, whether they would like to notice it or not. I feel like that's what started everything as far as like American music. Yeah. And I think we're just really close to those roots and everything that
you guys are all blues fans here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like country and rock and roll, like the further down the rabbit hole I've gone, I've noticed like it has a lot to do with blues. And I think that with us being just in that area, I think good music just naturally comes from there, whether it's like this magical thing that is just something in the air, like energy or something like that. But I mean, there's a reason why like members from Led Zeppelin like flew to Mississippi to write music. Wow. I mean, people from all over the world have come to the South just to have that feeling. And I think when in our genre of music, similar to the blues, it's a lot about pain and just those types of experiences in life where people can really gravitate towards and connect. And music is about connecting with people. If you're not, you know, putting those emotions out, then nobody can really connect to anything you're saying. So I think that's why a lot of good music comes from the South personally.
One of the things I'll say to you guys is the blues and these types of music. You think that's the music that's still here. It came out long ago. And you know where you are, like you said, and the influences. I mean, I feel like that's the type of thing that you'll still be aware of long to come. Very cool. We'll stick on this kind of subject here. The use of Hank Williams Jr. interview cuts within your songs is amazing. I'm a huge HWJ fan. I took him on Labor Day weekend to Hank Williams Jr. and Leonard Skinner concert in like 2018 or 17. Him and his brother.
That's amazing.
So two really good ones.
Yeah, I said, listen, these are his brother wasn't into it as much, but I was like, listen, come with Dad. This is the type of concert that you're going to want to talk about 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah, definitely.
So, why did Gideon decide specifically on these cuts from the interview? Who wants to talk about that?
It was an interview. We all watched it together before doing the album. And just the meaning and a lot of his story, I felt like really related to the story we were telling. And I don't know, we were able to piece things together to just really fit it in there and help kind of give a more clear meaning sometimes at the end of the song, just to like kind of tell the story a little more.
Is it more about the song or more about the band and where you're from?
Well, I feel like even with with how when he first came into the scene, he was really like having to be somebody that, you know, he was being pushed to be a certain person through his songs. like singing his dad's songs and stuff like that.
Play that cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were groomed to act like,
Yeah,
talk
that's
like.
all he.
Yeah.
That's all he knew, basically,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
all. And the way we were is all we knew coming
Yeah.
up.
Like that was
way
one
we
of the
started.
reasons we were able to tour at such a young age, is because like a lot of us came from church and stuff, and our family, you know, or my family was like, as long as, you know, you're doing this for this reason, you know, then you can go play these shows and all this stuff. But it gets to a certain point, you know, as a grown man, where you're just like, you know, I gotta do stuff my way or I'm
Mhm.
gonna go crazy.
Yeah, sure.
So
Absolutely.
we really related to Hank in that aspect, and I mean it's clear throughout his history that he kind of had to go crazy before he, you know, found who he was, and we just resonated with us, and also just we love him so much, and his dad. But
Very
it's,
cool.
It's, I don't know, I feel like we're very influenced by his. He's such a rock star.
Absolutely. I mean, they were the original rock stars,
Yeah.
right? Elvis and them going out on the road, and we're going to put these rock shows on. I mean, that was it. That was the beginning
Yeah.
of where we are now, right? And so,
I feel like he was the original person that was so rebellious with
Yeah.
country, like mixing.
Sure.
Like, I mean, sure, you like Leonard Skinner was like very, you know, rock and roll with country, you know,
Sprinkled in.
flavors, but he was like a country artist, like with that rock and roll rebellious
you have the Outlaw Crew, you know,
Right.
Hank, and, you know, all his companions riding along.
Oh,
It was a heck of a show.
All his rowdy
Yeah.
friends.
There you go, exactly.
But
So-
even in his 70s, he's still one of the like most confident performers I've ever
absolutely.
seen. It's
He's on a stool instead of dancing, but he's still as confident as he used to be.
playing a lot of his songs actually as blues songs now. Like
That's
Outlaw
amazing.
Women, like
Yeah.
he'll sing it as a blues song instead.
Wow.
It's cool.
And they always say at the end of your career, you have the opportunity to do really what you want to do.
Yeah.
Elvis goes into opera, you know, and things like that. So
Yeah.
very cool to see him get to do
Yeah.
what he wants to do. Well, we want to say we are really looking forward to tonight.
Yeah.
We're ready to cover it. We're really thankful you guys had us in for the interview. Quick request, if you could play Outlaw and dedicate it to American Mosh Pits, that's our theme song. That's
you like
we
that?
are the Outlaws, so
Gotcha.
play that and dedicate it to us tonight. That would be awesome. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys.
Thank you so much.
And definitely, if we could all just get some horns up. This has
Yeah.
been Conversation with Vin, starring Gideon, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tonight's the show. Let's go, people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Woo! Oh, God, guys, this was a dream come true.